everyone, it's Freedom Dove again. I thought I would do one more video regarding my Inergy Apex unit, and this time I wanted to talk about what I think are the pros and the cons. And so first I'll start out with the fact that it's relatively lightweight and portable. It's 25 pounds, but I don't have a problem lifting it and carrying it around my garage and everything. And so it is, twice as heavy as the Jackery 500, but it's also got a bigger battery and a bigger inverter, so it's not too bad. And then the next thing would be the fact that the battery is a lithium, of course, and that's why it's lighter than, a normal lead acid battery or whatever. And so that's what I'm going to compare it to, is just a regular lead acid battery. And so compared to them, the lithium lasts longer, up to like 10 years if you treat them right, and they can be discharged down further, down to like 20% instead of 50%. Of course, when you if you continually discharge them down to 20%, that will reduce the lifespan of the battery. They're lighter than lead acid batteries, of course, and they don't need ventilation. Now, the life expectancy to this particular unit, it says in the manual that it's up to 2,000 cycles to 80% capacity. And so that would be about 5.5 years if you drew it down to 20% every single day. And so otherwise it'll last, up to 10 years probably, because most people are not going to draw this down 80%. And next up would be the inverter. It's a really big inverter, 1500 watt with a 3000 watt peak, and it can handle pretty much every heavy load that I'm going to have for it, like my mini instant pot and my infrared burner, which is a 1000 watt burner, and I've got a food processor and a sewing machine and stuff that I might want to run on it, but it can handle all of those. And then the next pro would be that it has 4 different ways to charge, and I really like that. The first is the normal standard wall charger that gets plugged in right there, and the car charger also gets plugged in right there. And the car charger has to be purchased separately at the Inergy website. So it is the quick charger, and the quick charger is the third way, and you would plug it in over here, and it charges in about half the time as the standard wall outlet. And then this EC8 connector is also where you would input your solar. So those are the 4 different ways of charging the unit. And then that leads me to another pro, is that you can actually input quite a bit solar. You can put 500 watts into this at one time. And again, compared to like the Jackery 500, you can only input, I think it's 100 watts to that unit. So this is a definite plus, because you can charge up the unit a lot quicker if you have like 5 100 watt panels or what have you. And then the battery bank is expandable. That's what these are for, and you can expand with any 12 volt deep cycle lead acid, AGM, or gel cell battery, or an external lithium, which you can only get from Inergy. They don't have them on sale yet, but later this year they're going to be putting them on their website. But you can't plug in any other kind of external lithium battery because it could harm the unit. And that's what it says in the book, at least. And then they say that it's not recommended to exceed 3000 watts or 238 amp hours. I guess no matter which battery type you would be using to add on, you shouldn't exceed 3000 watts. And they have this diagram. I don't know how well you can see that, but they show, adding on 1, 2, or 3 external batteries, not to exceed 3000 watts. Alright, and so the next thing is the circuit breakers. I really love these. That's a definite pro, because if anything blows, if you overload anything, you can just come over here and press the circuit breaker and it will flip it back on. On the Kodiak, which is the predecessor to the Apex, you actually had to plug in, you had to find a 110 outlet like in somebody's house or whatever and plug it in with your wall charger into one of these outlets. And I really like the fact that you don't have to do that anymore, because like if you're out in the middle of the desert like I'm going to be, you're not going to have a wall charger or a wall outlet to plug it into if something should go on overload. And let's see, the last pro, we'll just go over one more thing, is that it's an all-in-one design. So it has the solar controller, which is an MPPT solar controller. It has the inverter, it has the battery, it has all your different outlets that you would ever need. It's foolproof, really, for, you know, someone who doesn't really know what they're doing with solar, is not interested in learning how to do that, or whatever reason you might have. And that pro actually leads to the first con on my list, and that is that it's an all-in-one design. So if one part fails, then it's pretty much useless unless you can get it fixed. So like if the inverter fails, you can't just switch out your inverter. You would have to send this unit back to Inergy and have them work on it. It does have a 1-year warranty and a no lemon policy, so that's really good. And then the next con I would say are the bright lights. And I mean bright. When you turn this thing on, it's bright. I mean, not only this, but this, the on and off switch. They never go off. They don't ever go dim. They never go off until you turn it off. That's it. And when I was testing this for the 24-hour test for the refrigerator, it was right next to my bed, and it was so bright that I couldn't sleep, and I had to take this cloth and like drape it over it, because it was that bright, and even a cloth over it just kind of dimmed it out or whatever, but at least I could sleep at that point. So that is a definite con in my book, that it never goes dim. You can't control it. There's no little switch or anything that you can turn the LED lights down with or off or anything like that. It's always on or always off. And then the other thing has to do with the display, and that's the fact that it fluctuates so much. Like if you saw my other videos, you'll know, and you'll be able to see, because I've got the camera on the display a lot. It can very easily, I saw it jump from 89% over here to like 93%, like just in a second, and then it went to 94 and then down to 90 or whatever. It fluctuates greatly, and I'm not sure if that's normal or not. I know why the wattage over here, that number, I know why that changes, obviously, because whatever appliance you have plugged into it, when it cycles on and off, you're going to see the change in wattage over here. But I didn't think that I would see such a huge fluctuation on the number for how much percentage is left, and that's kind of strange in my opinion. It's a little bit annoying because you're never really sure how much percentage the battery has left in it. Sometimes it holds still for a while, and it'll be like, you know, like it'll only go from 25 to 23 or something, so it's a very tight range. But when it jumps from 89 to 93, that's quite a bit of change, so that's a little bit of annoying to me, at least. And then, oh yeah, the dust covers, if you see these things, these don't come with it. I had to buy these separately. They're just little 12-volt dust caps, and I got them so that no dust would go in there, because I'm going to be out in the desert and everything, and it's pretty dusty out there. And so what I wish they would have done is have those like built-in covers that kind of, they've got a hinge at the top and it just flaps down and pushes in and kind of plugs in. That would have been really nice, because these, you know, they actually just barely fit in there, very loosely, and if I go down a bumpy road I can see these kind of just falling out. So that's another con in my opinion. And then we'll talk about the EC8 connector for the solar. I don't really like that. It's kind of rare. Most solar panels use something else like the MC4 or the SAE connector, and the solar panels that you can get at Inergy have the EC8 connection, but they're the sturdy, rigid solar panels, and even though I might get one of those, maybe if I can fit it on top of my rig, but for the most part I wanted to get the folding portable panels, and none of those have the EC8 connection. I've looked at all of them, the Inergy and all the different panels, and so I'm going to have to, whatever panel I get, I'm going to have to cut off the ends and then solder in the EC8 barrel connectors, and then that's the only way I'm going to be able to power this by solar, is to just modify the cables by myself. And so I don't like that at all. I wish it wasn't so proprietary. And the worst part is, which is another con on my list, is that Inergy doesn't even offer the folding suitcase panels. So that's kind of a pain in the butt. I wish they would consider the fact that, you know, because it doesn't even really make sense to me, because this is a portable unit. It's supposed to be used for emergency portable type thing, and for them to only offer the big flat 100 watt panels, that doesn't really make sense, because you'd think that if this is going to be portable, then you would want your panels to be portable too, and that's what it is in my case. So I really wish that they would offer foldable power solar panels. God, I can't talk tonight. Okay, and then the last thing is probably the most obvious to all of you if you've been to the website, is that this unit is very expensive. Even with my coupon code, it was $1,400. I mean, they did offer free shipping, but that was really expensive because it does not come with any solar panels or anything, and it only has the standard wall charger. So I'm going to have to buy the quick charger and the car charger, because I'm probably going to want to have all those available to me. And I'm going to have to buy solar panels. And I'm going to have to modify the solar panel connectors because of the uniqueness of the EC8 connector. So that's the last con, is this is very expensive. I did put it on my credit card, and I am going to have it paid off before I leave, but I wish I wish it wasn't so expensive. The Jackery 500 is only $500, but again, this thing has 3 times bigger of a battery, 3 times bigger of an inverter. It has tons more ports. It has this international, or not international, but the hookup, shore power hookup. And so this is by far superior in what it can do and what it offers. And so I guess it's worth the price. If you have the money and you can go portable like this, and it sounds like something that would be good for you, then I highly recommend it. I am really pleased with my little Inergy Apex. Alright, I think that was it. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I will talk to you later.